Welcome back to Ask Nico, where you guys ask me questions in the comments and I try my best to try and give you guys advice. The first question is from Just Call Him. Hey Nico, me and my family are moving out to a new home, but I'm feeling sad about losing my only friends because I don't really go outside. I barely know any people at the new place, and I'm scared of what to do after we move out since I'm only 13 turning 14. For those reading along, I paraphrased this a bit to make it more clear, but here's the thing. I had a very similar experience to you. When I was 15 years old, I moved to the United States of America from my home country of Greece, okay? So take what you're experiencing now on a whole different level, because there was no talking to my friends that often because there was a time zone difference of 7 hours. There was absolutely nobody I knew other than my mom's friend's son, whom I didn't get along with anyway. But here's the thing. When you move to a new place, you're a blank slate, okay? You're a stranger, nobody knows you, you don't know anybody else. So it's both a blessing and a curse. While your friends might not be at this new school, neither are your enemies. Your school bully or your school pain in the ass is not going to be at this new place. There might be a different one, but all your old people problems go away with the old school. You get to redefine yourself. You get to be whoever you want to be. So what I suggest is when you get to this new school, depending on how your class structure is set up, whether you have different kids with you in every classroom or you have the same kids, just go up and start making friends with everybody. Just introduce yourself. Say, hi, I'm, Dave, and I just moved here. Nice to meet you. It's as simple as that. And maybe ask them, what are you doing after school? I'd love to hang out after you talk to them for a bit. Maybe you don't like the first person you talk to. Maybe you talk to the next person. But straight up, just start introducing yourself to people. Start making friends. The way I did it was the first day of school, I talked to one kid at least from every class I had. And I find this is one of the interesting things that life threw at me. Every kid that I talked to in every class, I had 6 classes that day, and I talked to one kid from each class. Those 6 kids ended up being in the same friend group. And just by doing that, I was part of a friend group day one. I didn't even have the awkward phase of, I know the one friend, but I don't know everybody else. I knew pretty much everybody, besides one person. So if you go up to everyone the first day and avoid being the weird new kid that doesn't talk to anybody, you can pretty much make friends very easily because you're 13 turning 14. You're still in school. You're going to be forced to be around those kids every day anyway. So may as well talk to them, And as far as the going outside thing, you don't have to really go outside other than going to school to make friends, okay? It would be more helpful if you then, after school, decided to go out with said friends. Now, by the time this video actually goes out, you'll probably still be on summer vacation, so it might be hard for a couple of months, but when school starts, things are going to get much easier, okay? So just do me a favor and go talk to people the first day of school, and I promise you'll make friends very quickly. The next question is from Thunder24TBP. I am very confident at socializing, and I don't fear of what people will see me as, but the thing is that everyone is bad at socializing. When I try to talk with people, they respond with no more than one word, and they don't use common socializing tricks such as, how about you? And what is the best and worst part about it? I try to get them to talk about something that could get them talking more like hobbies, favorite movie, favorite things, but they either say, I don't know, or XYZ, but I don't want to go into details. Even when I ask for details. How can I fix this problem because I feel that nobody's my friend because they don't try to talk back with me? Thunder, the thing is, you're kind of right about the fact that certain people just don't know how to socialize, and it's a big and growing problem in our society, but at the same time, you might also be running into people that are just either genuinely not that interesting, or it could be a myriad of other things. The best thing you can do is just keep trying and keep going, okay? Keep trying to socialize with new people. Keep trying to talk to new people. I don't know how old you are or where this is coming from, but the truth is, it's just some people are like that. It's not just the generational thing. I'm very social myself. I like talking to people as much as possible and meeting new people and doing all that stuff, but some people just don't reciprocate, and it's as simple as that. As a matter of fact, I've been to countless parties and other social events where people just refuse to be social. The whole point of you going there is to talk to people and interact with people, and some people just don't want to do it. Some people rather just sit in their little phone, look like they're busy, and actually just do nothing. And on the other hand, there's people that you can talk to for 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden you're talking to them for an hour and a half, even though you really don't want to talk to them for an hour and a half. So I guess be careful what you wish for. Maybe perhaps you're even trying to socialize in settings that are not exactly social. An example of that could be the gym. People at the gym are not always the most social of people. They might just want to get their workout done and get out. Try exploring more social settings. Maybe that will help you out. But in any case, best of luck. I hope this works out for you. The next question is from Glib Soap. I dropped out at 14 years old and I'm 17 now. I have a long distance girlfriend, not that far, just don't see her as much, 7 hours away. And I have one friend that has so much homework that I never hang out with him. I'm lonely, I have no friends, nothing to do, and I quit gaming. I don't know what to do. Okay, so why did you drop out of school at 14 years old? That is my first question to you. Dropping out at 14 years old is a problem because without a high school diploma, you're kind of screwed, okay? Yeah, you can get a GED, but that really doesn't get you a lot of jobs. And I know I'm the person that kind of shits on college and all that stuff, but college is one thing. High school is a completely different one. I would honestly go back to school, bro. Maybe night school. I'm not entirely sure how it would work out for you right now. Part 2 of that question, you have a girlfriend that's 7 hours away, long distance at 17. I'm not entirely sure how to unpack that. I mean, 7 hours is a big difference. That is pretty far. I personally couldn't even deal with an hour and a half distance, never mind 7 hours away. And especially when you can't drive because I guess depending on where you are, you might be able to drive, but still, 7 hours? The best I can offer you right now is maybe try and do some sports because, I guess since you quit gaming, I would honestly go back to school because what is your game plan? What are you going to do now that you're 17 without a high school diploma? And that goes for anybody else. Do not drop out of high school. There's no reason for you to be dropping out of high school. No matter how hard you think it is, it's not going to be as hard as you trying to find a job or anything else to do without a high school diploma. In any case, best of luck to you and go back to school. The next question is from TheHouseGamer8895. Hey Nico, I'm 16 and I need your help. I'm afraid of continuing my life every day I lay down. I think about how I will die one day and my life would be meaningless. And the worst part is I think about how it would feel to not exist or how I would experience it. And this feeling haunts me. It interrupts my day-to-day life and makes me think more about growing up, aging, and then dying next to my loved ones. Do you have any advice? We all have this existential crisis at some point about the understanding of death and the fact that at some point this all ends, this all goes away. At some point, everybody dies. That's just the reality of life. But the thing is, there's not really a reason to be afraid of death. Death is just part of life. It's one of the natural occurrences. And of course, I won't lie. There are times where I've thought about it, the meaninglessness of life and, is there anything after we die and what happens? And there's a lot of just questions that we have that, unfortunately, us as a species do not have the answer to, even after all this technology and science and all kinds of things that we've discovered and created. But here's my philosophy on death. What is the point of worrying about death if you're going to die anyway? One day, it's going to be lights out. Could be tomorrow, could be 50 years from now, could be 30 seconds from now. In any case, at some point, you will cease to exist on the planet Earth. And since that's going to happen anyway, why not make the best of it? Why sit and worry about the fact that you're going to die if it's going to happen anyway? Just live your life, have fun, experience new places and new people, learn everything you can, watch movies, consume media and music and art, and just do all the beautiful things that life has to offer. Now, if that's not enough for you, you could always seek out religion. People have religious beliefs and people believe certain things about how, God will do this for you when you die and you'll get into heaven, or depending on whichever religion you decide to go with. Maybe study up on a bunch of them, see which one you like the best. And if that's not your thing, then I have this to say to you. The more time you spend worrying about death, the less time you have to actually live before you die. The next question is from ATAT. Hey man, I'm looking for a bit of advice. I recently broke up with a long-term girlfriend of mine, as at the time, and still now, I believe it was for the better. She had a lot of mental health issues, and as bad as it sounds, it was too much for me to deal with. Recently, however, I've been feeling quite empty. After the breakup, I was obviously upset, as I love this person. However, I felt it was for the better. But recently, I've just been feeling quite alone. I feel as though I made a mistake, but I am also stuck, as I also think I made the right decision. If you see this, I'd like to know what you think. Breakups are always hard, no matter what the reason is, no matter what the background is, and especially if it's for a reason of mental health. It's not bad that you broke up with someone because of their mental health issues. It's hard to date people in general, let alone people with mental health problems. And if you can't handle that, that's fine. You might just need someone who is more emotionally stable. It's not inherently bad that you broke up with them because of their mental health issues. It's not seen as nice, but you gotta do what you gotta do for yourself, okay? Some people are just not built for dealing with people with mental health issues, and that's okay. One of my ex-girlfriends had major mental health issues, major problems that I couldn't handle. Okay, I could not handle them, and I didn't know I couldn't handle them at the time. And we broke up for different reasons, but I realized that in the long term, it wouldn't have worked out because of the amount of issues that there were. Issues that this person had to resolve on her own, and issues that in many cases might not even ever be resolved. It is not necessarily your job as a partner to have to deal and accept every sort of mental issue that somebody has. Some people just need to go to a psychiatrist and they refuse to believe it, okay? And they won't go and they refuse to deal with whatever abnormalities they have, and you might not want to deal. And that's fair. They shouldn't, I guess, have to change for you, but you also don't have to accept them as they are. You can just move on. You can go date other people. Now, as far as you feeling bad because you love this person, that's normal, okay? You're going to feel bad. There might be a bit more of an amplification because you broke up for that specific reason. But if you feel like it's the right decision, then it probably is the right decision. You have to trust your gut when you do things like that, especially breakups. Breakups are going to be emotional roller coasters, and in many cases, your heart can play games with you. You have to think of things logically a little bit. Even when the emotions take over, sometimes you have to step out, look at things in the third person and say, okay, this is not healthy for me. I can't do this anymore. I need to move on. And as far as the feeling of being alone goes, that feeling will go away eventually. You spent a lot of time with this woman, okay? You dated her. Odds are you guys were talking every day, in each other's faces, doing things together, and now you don't have that person. And there's going to be a void that either needs to be filled by other people or could possibly be filled by a different partner. But give yourself time to heal, of course. Don't go jumping into a new relationship because that won't be good for you either. To summarize everything, it's okay that you broke up with this person because of mental health issues. While it might suck, you have to do what's best for yourself first to be able to do what's best for others. And on whether or not you made the right decision, only you really know that. You're just going to have to sit with that for a while and make your decision that way. The next question is from Valeria Harvey 7289. I'll be 14 in July. I ain't going to ask a deep question. I just want to ask, what kind of things do you regret not doing in the past when you were a teenager? I live in Southeast Asia and I want to change my life by moving to a better country for work in the future. There isn't really anything I regret not doing as a teenager. Honestly, I just think that I wish I was more disciplined with certain things that I was doing, like, say, certain types of schoolwork. Like, I really wish I stayed disciplined in my language learning classes, like French, because I would know 3 languages instead of 2. But other than that, maybe spending more time with friends outdoors and, I don't know, maybe playing more sports. I don't know, being a little bit more carefree. I think I had to grow up a little bit quicker than the average person because I moved to a whole different country when I was 15 myself. So there's not necessarily a regret, but if you can do anything, maintain your childhood as long as possible because that's something that you truly don't get back. That being said, I don't mind being an adult. I think it's pretty fun. Hang out with your friends more, go outside more, and stay disciplined in things that you think will be useful to you in the future because that way you have a head start on a lot of different people that you don't even know about yet. The next question is from Pixela Games 2000. Hey Nico, I love your content. My question is, where can I go to make friends? I'm 24, female, I don't go out much, and I don't have very many IRL friends. The few I do have moved away, and all the friends I talk to on a regular basis are exclusively online. My parents won't let me go just anywhere. Yes, I'm 24 and I still live with my parents, and I'm working on being independent, etc., whatever. Church is one of the only few places I go to on the regular, and while it's great there, it's limited. I just want to find my people, find friends who have similar interests to me, and share the same morals and values. Got any ideas? Thanks. Okay, so you're in a bit of a predicament here. You're 24 and living with your parents, and you have strict parents. And since you have strict parents, I'm sure that you being female makes it a lot harder on you because there's probably some sort of, we can't let our only daughter go out and be heathenist type of thing. So there's a few things you can do here. And this is my personal favorite, but also the hardest. A, you just ignore what your parents' wishes are, and you say, I'm going out, I'm 24, I'm an adult, I can do what I want. Now with this, you might be met with the, oh, we're going to kick you out and my roof, my rules and all that stuff. But you can always test that theory. You can start pushing little by little and start disobeying your parents little by little until they eventually snap and see how far you can actually get away with things. But of course, it's hard. It's hard when you don't have your own place. It's hard when you don't have the ability to just say, screw you, I'm doing what I want. Because at the end of the day, you do live with them, okay? You are under their roof. Part 2 is that you cut the BS and you work on being more independent. You go out, find a job that allows you to have your own place and start doing whatever you want from there on in. Now, part 3 of this, if you want to pursue a more sneaky route, you can just straight up tell them, you're going to the library, you're going to this place, you're going to that place. And you can probably finesse a way to make it seem like you're there. If they have your location on and stuff, potentially air tags could work. And as long as you're doing activities that happen during the day, you should be fine. Now, as far as what those activities are, take a gym class or join a gym, go to a cafe and sit at the bar at the cafe where you can approach and be approached by people. Go to a park and see if there are any events that are happening at said park, any, festivals or anything of the sort. Maybe your town even has some sort of, food truck festival or anything of that kind, and then chat with people there. You could also see what other activities your church friends get up to. Maybe they have a book club or something. Maybe they like playing pickleball on Saturdays. Maybe they like going bowling. And even if you don't like those friends too much, you can also use those friends to get access to their outer circle. So the friends of the church people might be more interesting than the church people themselves. And that creates a great excuse for your parents because you can say, oh, I'm going out with some church friends. And that's basically the truth. Now, of course, your real intentions are to hang out with the people that aren't necessarily the church friends. But you get what I mean. So, you either put your foot down and tell your parents, look, I'm a 24-year-old woman and I can do whatever I please. And that's a really confrontational approach. You could play the good Christian girl approach where you go out with your church friends and then do whatever activities they're doing, even if those activities aren't the most family-friendly, good Christian girl, kosher, whatever. Or you could just be sneaky about it. You could just be sneaky and just go do what you want and just not let your parents know. Anyway, hope this helps. The next question is from @midtaku5379. I'm currently 14 and joining this somewhat club at school that you can say makes us act like we're in the military. Later on, once we are all trained, we will be given authority to be like the school's guards or police. We are trained to do these physical exercises, act like soldiers, learn how to hold a rifle, and etc. In all honesty, I feel like kind of an imposter in there. I'm the slowest when we do our weekly jogging. I struggle doing push-ups. If I'm tasked to be the platoon leader, I get scared and I feel like the others are judging me. If I feel like I'm good at something, someone will always be better than me. To sum it up, I'm aware that I'm probably the least performing one in the group, and I get frustrated how everyone is just doing the things I find hard so easy as breathing. Do you have any advice on how I can improve or at least stop these feelings of inferiority? It sucks when you can see that others are doing better than you, even way better than you in many cases. Trust me, I was that person when I did basketball in middle school, okay? I was the worst because I just didn't get along with the kids there, and I would psychologically make myself not do well, and I just suffered from it, okay? I just suffered entirely, and it was not fun. To the point where I quit. Okay, I quit because I realized that I didn't want to do that anymore. But that's not what I'm telling you to do here. The question here is, how badly do you want this to work out for you? Do you really want to be part of this club and do this activity and just be that person? Because if you do, then the best thing you can do is just keep moving forward and try your best to ignore those feelings, okay? The more you work at it and the more you do it, the better you're going to become, okay? Nobody became a triathlete in a day. And I promise you that there's definitely people that came before you and people that will come after you that try this thing out and will quit. Will quit a week in, 2 weeks in, whatever, because they just can't handle it. But it seems that even if you aren't doing the best, you're still doing it. You're still doing it to an extent. But you're just doing it at your own pace. So just keep at it. Just keep doing it. Just keep trying your best. And eventually you'll become better. Maybe at a slower pace than others, yes. But just do what you can, okay? Do what you can, and don't worry about what other people are thinking of you. In all honesty, others are probably thinking the same things that you are. Others are probably thinking that they're the worst. Others are probably thinking that they can't do well as platoon leaders or whatever you're saying. So remove all those little voices in your head and just focus at the task at hand. And I promise you, you'll get better. The more you try and the more you work at it. As long as you keep working at it, though. The next question is from Seth Sim Racing. Simple question. How do I just enjoy my life in the present and not constantly be stressed and worried about the future? I'm constantly stressed about my future career and such, and the only time I'm not is when I'm gaming. Of course, I know that it's not healthy for the only time I'm not stressed to be when I'm playing video games. I've searched Google and YouTube to find ways to worry less and just enjoy, but no matter what, I can't seem to do it. I'm hoping maybe you could help me out. Stressing about the future is pretty much something that every single person does, to some extent at least. Now, there are the few lucky people that are just carefree and live their lives in the present. I don't personally know those people. And as someone who's constantly trying to better myself to make my future better, I kind of understand where you're coming from. The thing is, there's no real easy way to not be stressed about the future. After all, the unknown is always stressful, okay? We as people like to know things. We like to know what's going to happen. That's why we made up a way to predict the weather, which now works. That's why we came up with the idea of psychics and fortune tellers and all these kinds of things, just so we can have somewhat of a grasp of how our future is going to play out. But no matter how much you try, no matter what new technology comes out or what thing happens, there is no real way to know what's going to happen in your future. You might be having a very good week, and the week after could be your hell week. Or you might be having a hell week, and the week after could be the week you win the lottery. The future is going to be unpredictable no matter what, and there's nothing you can do about it. You have to get that part through your head first. Part 2 of this is when your head is so stuck in the future, you forget about your present. Living either in the future or in the past, as a matter of fact, is a way you destroy your life. Because if you're constantly just thinking about things that you can't change or you can't predict, you're going to screw up the things that you can change and can predict. Present day is where you are. Okay, there's no getting around it. It's more of a training yourself to have that mindset. The only way I know how to get myself out of thinking about the future is by experiencing cool things in the present. One way, like you said, is playing video games. You kind of forget about it. You kind of don't think about the future because you're actively engaged in something. So maybe you just make yourself be actively engaged in other things. Maybe you find new hobbies that you can actually sit and do and be interested in so that you're not so worried. Maybe go in nature a little bit and try and calm yourself down by looking at some trees and some grass. The color green is really good to de-stress your mind. I think exercising also is a really good way to de-stress yourself about the future because you're focusing on, lifting weights or running or doing whatever the hell it is you're doing. And you also feel better about yourself after the fact. You kind of clear your mind because you're physically tired, right? Doing physical activity actually helps you get better mindsets, believe it or not. So in any case, you can either choose to embrace it head on, or you can choose to escape it. Or even maybe do a healthy mix of both. But regardless, keeping your mind occupied is the best way to avoid stressing about things which you realistically don't have that much control over, nor do you need to have that much control over. That's what makes your life so beautiful. Actually, this just came to me. Think about the fact that your future depends on your present. So make sure your present is good. Make sure you're having fun. Make sure you're pursuing your goals and doing your best to get yourself to that future career you want. And if this doesn't really resonate or help you that much, you might want to consider a therapist. In any case, best of luck to you. The next question is from an unnamed user. Hello, I'm a 16-year-old boy with a hobby that I think I've got experience on. It's called 3D modeling, and I think I'm doing good since I've started like almost a year ago. I've gotten around $50 since I started working for clients, and I think I want to make a living out of it. But it feels like I'm not good enough. And when I'm around better people, I struggle to improve, and I'm lazy many times, so I procrastinate. Most of the time, I can't find a source in what I'm looking for, so I just cancel my work. Any tips on how to continue and keep on my hustle? I think it's great that you have that sort of a hobby at 16, and that you love it, and that you think you want to make a career out of it, and it's great. The thing is that when you have a hobby, it's very hard to turn it into a career without kind of starting to dislike it a little bit. And let me explain to you what I mean. As a YouTuber, my hustle is to make content every week that is entertaining and that people will want to watch. But the hobbyist in me wants to make content that sometimes people won't want to watch. And you kind of have to fight that battle. That's what makes me procrastinate and not want to do certain things. You have to make a decision. And that decision is, how badly do you want this to turn into a career at some point? If you don't really think that you want it to be a career and you just want it to be a hobby, then keep it a hobby. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you really do want it to be a career, then it's more about building discipline and making sure that you understand what it takes to be a 3D modelist or modeler. Now, in terms of struggling to improve, it's hard to improve on things. It's hard to become better at things. But you just have to keep doing it. And the more you do it, the better you'll become. The more you keep 3D modeling, the more models you make, the more mistakes you'll catch yourself making and not make again. And you said that you're actually surrounded by people that are better. If you keep surrounding yourself with those people that are better, you're eventually going to want to be as good as them and also surpass them. It's better to be around people that are better than you at what you do than to be around people that are worse than you at what you do. Because that means you're in a place where you can improve. That means you're in a place with like-minded individuals that can get you where you need to be if you ask for help or if you just see them working and you just work alongside them. People would kill to be in your position right now. So be proud of yourself. Be proud of yourself that you found something that you like to do and that you might want to turn into a career, and be proud that you're able to surround yourself with like-minded individuals, because that is hard to find, no matter what age, no matter where you are. So if you want to get better, just keep hanging around the people that are doing what you love better than you are, and then keep working alongside them. And the more you keep doing that, the less you'll want to procrastinate, the less you'll get bored, and you'll start developing your skills and being more interested in it, and it just kind of snowballs from there. Now, there is a flip side to this. There is a chance that you don't like it professionally. There's a chance that you do not like doing this to the extent of making it your job, but you like it as a little side thing that you do once in a while. That's totally fine too. But you have to figure that out. You have to sit and do it. And if you find yourself procrastinating and never wanting to do it, then chances are you don't want this to be your job. Chances are this is going to be something that you're eventually going to hate. This happened to me with video editing. I did video editing full-time for a year, And I found out that I don't like doing editing full time. It's not something that I'm interested in doing all the time. I wanted a job that allowed me to interact with more people and socialize and not deal with a machine and software issues 24/7. So figure out which one it is for you. Job, hobby, and then figure out if you even like it that much. And after that point, you know what to do. The next question is from Megadinalizard9882. Hey Nico, I just started talking to a girl. We shared feelings, she likes me and I like her back, but we're not quite dating. Now that we've been made aware of this, we're confused on how to progress further. Both of us are introverted and don't talk much, unless we're with close friends. We're not very close. This is my first relationship, and she's been in some sort of previous ones. Please and thank you for the help. So this is a good thing. You guys share some, romantic feelings, and you both know that you like each other, and you want to know what's next. The most logical place to go from here is to start dating. Ask her to be your girlfriend, and just straight up say, hey, would you like to be my girlfriend? Because you know that she likes you. You don't really have to do any more work from this point on, and you can just go from there. The introverted part is not going to be much of an issue for you guys because when you're in a relationship, that sort of goes away. You guys are going to have a more intimate connection sooner or later, and that, initial stage of just awkwardness or introvertedness is going to go away, I promise you. Just be straight up about how you feel and what you want. And if you don't want to necessarily date this girl, maybe explore more casual options with her. But I don't know how old you are. I don't know what your, background is here. So I guess the best thing you can do is straight up just ask her to be your girlfriend. The next question is from a name I cannot pronounce. Nico, I'm 24. I'm lost as fuck. Just broke up with my girlfriend of 5 years and doing shit that could kill me. I don't know. I just speed while drinking and I give it low chances if I make it back home. Don't know. Life is weird. What should I do, man? Whatever you do, you need to stop drinking and driving, brother. Like, what? There's no way you just admitted that you drink and drive. That is a serious problem, bro. Drinking and driving has killed so many people, many of which I know, and it's not worth it, bro. It's not worth it for a breakup of whatever girl, whatever it is. You could be breaking up with the heiress of a $5 billion industry who gives you the best sloppy toppy and everything in between. Like, there's no reason to be doing shit like that, okay? You need to chill on the drinking. That's number one. And you need to stop driving while you're doing it. That's number two. Past this, just give yourself time, okay? Give yourself time to feel this and understand what's going on. But someone needs to take the keys out of your hands, bro. And this is a very serious thing. Do not drink and drive, okay? I have a friend who drove off a cliff because he was a little too tipsy, never mind drunk. And he was lucky. He was lucky that only the car got totaled and he didn't really get that hurt. But he did get a little hurt. And he's lucky that the cliff he flew off wasn't a big cliff. Like, he didn't fall like 2,000 feet. He fell like maybe 6 feet or something. I don't remember exactly. Whatever it is, she ain't worth it. Take time and experience those feelings, but experience them sober. And regardless of the driving part, drinking in general doesn't help you get over someone, okay? It's not a magic potion that makes your sadness go away. It's a temporary high is what it is. And it makes your brain feel a little bit numb. But guess what? The moment you sober up, all those feelings come back. The more you try and push them down with the alcohol, the worse they come back up when you're sober. Stop drinking and driving, and if for nothing else, do it so that you don't hurt other people. Because you're going to hurt other people, and you're going to ruin your life and somebody else's in the process. And honestly, fuck it. You should check yourself in this therapy, because this is bad. I wish you the best of luck. That's all the answers we have for today. If you would like to ask me for some advice, please leave your questions in the comments below. And if you'd like to play Minecraft with me, join the Niko SMP linked in the description below. Thank you all so much for watching. And as always, good night and good luck, everybody.